Good afternoon from Washington, D.C., Wilmington, North Carolina, and here in beautiful downtown Asheville. Welcome to this Facebook Live event from AARP. My name's Phil Lenowitz. I'm a volunteer with AARP, and I'll be hosting this important session about resources that AARP has for you to help you with finding a new job, starting your own business, special resources for veterans, and local resources that you can tap into for success in your career. Quick note, at the end of this session, there'll be a survey. And right now, if you're on Facebook, hit that share button, send it to your friends. Today, we'll be learning about resources for successfully landing a job with Susan Weinstock, AARP's Vice President of Financial Resilience Programming. Also, opportunities for veterans with Pete Jeffries, National Director of AARP's Veterans and Military Families Initiative. We'll have Exploring Your Journey through Starting a Business with Felicia Brown, AARP's Senior Advisor for Financial Resilience, and local resources from the mountains to the sea with Irene Canivet here in NC Works Career Center in Asheville, North Carolina, to the sea with Erin Easton, Workforce Training Coordinator at Cape Fear Community College in Wilmington. We'll end our session with questions and answers, so put your questions in the chat and we'll get to as many as we can at the end of the presentations. So let's get started with Susan Weinstock. Susan, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Phil. Great to be here.
Great. So tell us what you do.
So what I do is I lead all of AARP's work on what we call work and jobs. We know probably the strongest thing you can do to ensure your financial resilience is to continue to work. So we want to meet people wherever they are on their career journey with information, resources, tips, and tools and advocacy to help them do the best they can in their own careers.
That's great. So I left my job. I'm 55 years old. I have kids going to college and I want to work. What are my next steps?
Well, there's lots of things that AARP offers you, and we would love to have you engage with us. Just yesterday, we had our online career summit. We do those twice a year in January and in September. The January one is online. It's actually going to be, it's on Facebook, so you can find it there with the keynote from a former chair of the EEOC, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, who is now at the Department of Labor. She gave some great information about getting past applicant tracking systems and about age discrimination, things like that. We have the AARP job board. Go to jobs.aarp.org and you can see our job board. Two things that are neat about our job board is one, that it, you can filter by all kinds of things. And two, we have an employer pledge program. We have over 1,200 employers who have signed our pledge. And the pledge just says, we as an employer value older workers. We value a multi-generational workforce, and we hire based on ability regardless of age. It's not a heavy lift, it's the law, but we think it's important that these folks come out and say that very publicly. And if you want to see that list, go to aarp.org/employer pledge. And you can filter on the job board just on those companies. So you can see the companies that are our pledge signers. We also have a resume advisor. aarp.org/resume. You can get a free critique of your resume by a human being, not by some computer, and they will critique your resume. And then if you want to have them rewrite your resume or write a cover letter for you or redo your LinkedIn profile, you can pay for that. If you're an AARP member, you get a discount on that work. And then third, we just launched late last year our Skills Builder for Work. This is our new online learning platform. We are offering 3 courses for free. One of them is the Microsoft Office Suite, which is Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. This is, we think, particularly relevant right now. If you're in one of those frontline jobs, a restaurant worker, retail worker, warehouse worker, and you don't want to do that kind of work anymore, you want to go work in an office, you have to know the Microsoft Office Suite. So we have that for free. And you can take that course and you'll get a certificate showing that you have completed the course. We also have a course called enhancing your personal creativity, and another one called Mastering Remote Work. Those are free. There's also a huge course catalog, including lots of certificates and credentials that you can earn. All of those are on that website, and I'll give it to you again. It's aarp.org/work skills.
Wow, that's a ton of great stuff.
It's a lot.
So on the resume, I know one of the questions we face are resume gaps from people who have left the workforce for a period of time or might have gotten laid off during the pandemic. And these days, there's a lot of virtual interviews rather than face-to-face. Can AARP help us with some of those things?
It absolutely can. If you go to aarp.org/work, you will find articles. You could just search it on a search engine, AARP and either one of those questions, and you will get an article that talks about both of those issues. The interesting thing about the gaps in resumes is I've been reading a lot of comments from employers saying, given the pandemic, we don't care about that anymore. Don't worry. It's okay. We understand that people have caregiving responsibilities and other responsibilities. A lot of people were, kids were working, were not in school anymore there, and you needed to be there to help your kid. And it's very hard to work full time and make sure that your kid is doing their schoolwork, right? So, or your grandchild for that matter. So, employers, I think, are being more understanding about that. So I would and if you've done volunteer work, make sure you put that in if you've had a career gap. That counts. It's important. There are skills that you build as a volunteer that will definitely be important in a job. And there's no reason not to add that to your resume if you filled in a gap with something like that.
That's great. So should I have different resumes depending on the job that I'm applying for?
Unfortunately, the answer to that is kind of yes. I mean, you can have one basic resume, but the trick that you need to do is you have to look at the job description that you're in for the job that you're applying for and find the keywords that describe that job, and then ensure that those keywords that describe that job are in your resume. The problem is that most employers now use what they call an applicant tracking system, or ATS. It's a completely automated, computerized system. If your resume doesn't match up to that job description, you're not going to get to a human being to see your resume. It's never going to make it through the ATS. So you make sure that that resume includes those keywords from that job description. That gives you a much better chance to get through the applicant tracking system. So
Well,
tailor, what I would say is create one resume, and then every time you apply for a job, find those keywords and tailor that resume to that job description. I realize it's a lot of work and a pain in the neck. Totally understand that, but it's a key if you want to be successful in the job search.
Well, I guess if I take those courses on the Microsoft Office suite and learn how to use Microsoft Word, it'll be easier to tailor my resume.
There you go.
I can have different ones for different jobs. So what are some ideas for upgrading my current skill set for the jobs of today, especially work at home kind of jobs? How do I project that?
Right. Well, as I said, we have this new offering, this skills builder for work, aarp.org again /work skills. And you can take a wide variety of courses about everything from building a home-based business to getting a project management certificate, and everything in between. It's a whole range, a large course catalog. And that's a great way to show a potential employer that you are a lifelong learner. And that's something that they want. They want someone who's continuing to build their skill set, continuing to learn. So definitely take advantage of those courses and take some of them. You can also look at your local community college. We're going to talk to a representative from that later. They offer fantastic courses that are great to take. Again, add to your resume, demonstrate that you are that lifelong learner.
Yeah, here in Asheville, we have AB Tech as our local community college, and also at UNC, the University of North Carolina, here in Asheville, we have a Osher Lifelong Learning Institute.
Right, those are terrific. All great choices.
So
and sometimes if you're over 65 in a lot of places, and I don't know the specific situation for North Carolina, you can take community college courses for free.
Something to look into at AB
Tech.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so what other tips do you have for us?
Well, network. I've seen different survey research about the success that people have in the job search, and anywhere between 60 to 80% of those surveys show that people got their jobs through networking. Now, I realize that in this day and age, it's not an easy thing to do when we're all supposed to be masked and we're not, 6 feet away and all of this. I totally understand. You can use social media that way. Use Facebook. Let everybody you know that you are looking for a job and the kind of job you are looking for. So that's a really great way, because there may be somebody who's like, oh, in my office, they're actually thinking about adding another person. You would be great. And you may get in on something before it's even, out in the public realm as an early applicant for the job. So definitely make sure that network is wide. If you go on LinkedIn, make sure that LinkedIn profile is as filled out as possible. One of the tricks with LinkedIn is the more you fill out the profile, the higher you're going to be in the results page for a search. So if you have very little on your LinkedIn page, you're going to be way down in the research results. And we know that people tend not to look at the bottom list of the search results. They look at the top. So make sure that you fill out as much of that LinkedIn profile as you can. Include a picture, nothing crazy, something looking professional. Get yourself higher up on those search results, and hopefully that will help you as well. And then let me just say also, make sure that your social media profiles are pretty clean. Like, don't, think about, most employers these days, they say, go ahead and they go on social media and they look at these job applicants. So if you've got all kinds of crazy stuff on there that you've put up there that might inhibit somebody from wanting to talk to you because they're worried about your political views or whatever, I would take it down. Just pull those things off, or make those things only for your friends so that the general public can't see that sort of thing. That way you can put it up, your friends can see it, but nobody else can. So if a potential employer is looking at your Facebook page, they're not going to see, if you put crazy jokes on there that just don't really fit into the tenure of the tune of what you want to show as being a very professional outlook.
That's a great tip. I know that social media is the place they go to find out what you've been up to.
Right, exactly. And so make it look something that you would want to be proud of, that they found about you.
Show your family pictures, your dog, and your kids and your grandkids.
Right, and not like crazy stuff that might dissuade them from wanting to even talk to you.
Very good. Okay, well, you got any more tips for us?
I think that's about it. I think I've covered it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Susan. Okay, Pete Jeffries is our AARP's National Director of Veterans and Military Family Initiative. Pete, welcome. Thanks for coming here today. I didn't tell you this before, but I'm a big fan of employing veterans. I worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs for 15 years at 5 different hospitals, the Washington headquarters and the regional headquarters in Atlanta. So veteran employment is high on my list. I'm thrilled to see you as the coordinator and the leader of this initiative. How can vets and their families tie into AARP resources these days?
Well, first, thanks for having me, and thank you for your service, because we know that veteran benefits are so sought after, yet many veterans and their families don't know how to get the access to qualify or obtain those benefits. So for what you did in your work world, that's much appreciated. And that's another reason of why AARP stepped into this breach, stepped into this gap, is that we wanted to serve as a better connector and help veterans and their families be able to connect with their earned service benefits. So, and on a broad topic, we actually serve veterans and military families across the country, both members and non-members of AARP. And we cover topics such as family caregiving, fighting fraud through our Operation Protect Veterans portal, as well as we're really excited to announce just last week the new Veterans and Military Spouses Job Center. and that's where what I want to talk about more today is we rolled out this digital platform. It's a one-stop job hub so that people don't have to search all over the place to get these necessary resources if you are a veteran military spouse or even transitioning military member. We put it all in one place at that website that's at the bottom of the screen, aarp.org/Vets Job Center. So if we want to take a look at the Job Center now, it's really, like I said, really neat. While before we had always had ways that people could connect through our job board with Veterans Wanted button and hooking up people that are veterans seeking employment with veteran-friendly employers. We also have the resume advisor that Susan talked about on our job center here, but some of all of our free resources and materials were in different spots. So this is the first time a veteran and a military spouse can go to one place and get it all. So right here at the top is this brand new free course. We call it the Veterans Career Advantage. It provides professional development and jobs building skills that a veteran and or military spouse can put into immediate practice. It's a self-guided online course. You can take it at your leisure and learn a little bit more, whether it be about that resume building, whether it be about career tracking, things that are very necessary in today's job market. And then you go on down there, you can see the Veterans Wanted button that we have connected to our AARP job board. Again, on that, very basic, simple concept, but super useful, which is if you're a veteran, you go onto our job board on the left-hand side, there's a box. You click that box that you're a veteran, and by the magic of the internet and by the computer, it automatically surfs through those veteran-friendly employers that are specifically looking to hire veterans. It's easy peasy that way. Next one down there is our more tips and tools to help veterans get jobs as well as military spouses. And then there's our resume advisor right there. And as Susan said, folks can get this service for free, at least to get some counsel and some feedback about their resume. And here's what we found is that for a lot of folks, particularly those transitioning out of the military and into the civilian workforce, they try to use too much military jargon. And that just doesn't resonate with a civilian workforce employer. And so even just a one read through, one of our resume advisors can give some immediate feedback, such as you need to change this military jargon for the way you're trying to describe this role or responsibility on your resume so that it fits better with the job you're going to apply for as well as the general civilian workforce. So just very basic but very useful tips.
Sounds like that's critical, is get the right words in the resume after what Susan just told us. If they're going through an automated system, you'd want the right words, and sometimes the military words don't resonate. Even though it's terrific skill, the words don't match. So that's a great tip. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that Susan did touch on that because no, as Susan said, you need to have a basic resume and then you can further refine and tailor from there. With our resume advisor, we're trying to get folks to a suitable, very, if you will, basic resume that then they can go to that next step and get beyond the automated systems by using the key words that are in a job description. So thanks for referencing back to Susan, because that is exactly spot on. You can see in that red box there, that's another brand new tool that we're very proud of sharing with folks. While everything here is on this digital online platform, we still know that some folks, they want to be able to print out things and read them again wherever they go. They don't necessarily want to be tied to their phone and read everything, or tied to a laptop or to a tablet and read things. So you just click right here, download the free toolkit. We've actually created a 38-page guide that goes through soup to nuts on everything you need to know if you're a veteran or military spouse or transitioning military member to get into the civilian workforce, whether it be to get that first civilian workforce job, or whether it be that you want to transition from one career to another or one job to another in the civilian workforce. And we cover everything from resume building to cover letters to networking to best online social sites that folks can build their brand and talk about what they bring to a future employer. So again, free toolkit, you can download it right there. And then we have other things here about for videos and additional courses. And then down there at the very bottom is the Be Your Own Boss, which I think Felicia is going to talk about here coming up. And that is that a lot of folks, they want to be entrepreneurs. They want to start their own business. Not everybody is going from job to job necessarily. They may be going from one career to a whole new world. And so again, from top to bottom here at aarp.org/vets job center, we've tried to consolidate all of those necessary tools and resources in one place. They're all free. And it's so that veterans and military spouses can actually gain an edge in the civilian workforce. And it was touched upon earlier because of where unemployment numbers are, and in particular with veterans and spouses, underemployment is a chronic and systemic issue. And so by having this online one-stop tool, we're hoping to combat that.
So how can a guy like me get the word out to veterans who may not be AARP members? They may be a little younger, to let them know that this fantastic resource is available to them.
Couple of ways. Go into your email and just take your email list and share aarp.org/vets job center with them. You also can go, and we have a top story on our general public veterans website, which is aarp.org/veterans, and it covers the waterfront by introducing what the job center is, and that story describes everything. It also has a link inside it straight to the job center, so folks can check out all of these great tools and resources at Vets Job Center. The other way to do it, go on social media, particularly Facebook. That's where most of our audience lives on a daily basis, is thumb scrolling through their feed on their phones with Facebook, being able to see pictures of family and friends and what's going on. And we have made tremendous progress in being able to share our free tools and resources through, whether it be AARP's Facebook, our Twitter, our LinkedIn accounts. Those all are wonderful places that potential job seekers or those who are just thinking about doing something different in life may be interested in surfing, seeing, and then reacting to.
A good tip. I just made a note to make sure I put a link in there on my LinkedIn account for folks who might be scrolling through, especially former VA people that I know.
That'd be great. Thank you, Phil.
Great. Okay. Pete, any other, man, you covered a whole bunch of stuff. Any last minute tips you want to share with us? Or are we good?
Just for folks that if you have a chance, go check out those two different websites. The broader website is aarp.org/veterans, and the specific site for job search for veterans and military spouses is aarp.org/vets job center.
That's great. Pete, thanks for taking this on. This is a great resource. I'm thrilled that you're doing it, and thanks for being with us all the way from the DC area.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Felicia Brown. So thanks for being with us today, and for your patience for us to get to you.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here to talk about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about that entrepreneurship initiative, and how is it important, and how can it work for us?
Absolutely. So, Pete indicated at the conclusion of his chat that people might want to pivot or just kind of start something new, and AARP is here to help. People don't think of us in the small business space. Many people think about AARP as Social Security, Medicare, and some of the other things that we're doing. But I would say that entrepreneurship probably falls very low on the awareness list around the tools and resources that we offer. So we are here to help people who might want to do something different and explore what entrepreneurship could look like, particularly, and not even as an encore or as perhaps as a what's next. So we are here to offer tools and resources for people who are exploring really how to do that. And so we want to be here to help people from their start and from their growth aspect into the managing aspect of what a small business could look like for themselves.
So how does that journey begin?
So the journey begins with really thinking about what you want to do. And so a lot of people think about, they've had 30 years of experience and they want to parlay that into an entrepreneurship endeavor. They think about like a skill set that they're really good at. It could be baking, making jewelry. It could be cutting hair. It could be that thing that you've been nurturing all these years, perhaps as a side hustle or as a gig or just to supplement your income. And now they decide that it's now time to take that leap of faith to step out and do that thing on their own. And then it's really begins to, how do you start to do some research? And so where do you go to learn how to launch? And so we have these resources to really help you do that. And so we have on .org, we have the start a business page on that's AARP.org/start a business. We have our newly launched Small Business Resource Center, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about. We have the Be Your Own Boss campaign, which is for people who are squarely in the start phase. And we have the Freelance Resource Center for people who are just trying to, maybe you're a writer and you want to do some freelance work. We have the Freelance Resource Center, which was launched by the AARP Foundation. And we have our Meet the Founder series, which is on my LinkedIn page, where we are actually sharing the stories of established business owners who can share their journey to help those who are getting started on where to go and some nuggets and tips and tools. So that's what we have.
So if I want to talk to Jeff Bezos about how I can build my business into Amazon, he's the guy to talk to, huh?
He might be the top guy to talk to, but we have some other amazing business owners that we are interviewing and sharing their stories.
That's great. So what are the steps that people should take if they want to get started? I've thought about it. Here's my skill, and I want to make a business out of it. Okay, I'm kind of there. Where do I go?
Absolutely. So as I said, AARP is here to help. And so if you could put the Small Business Resource Center up for me, I want everyone, we're going to take a little bit of journey through that. And so we launched that last year, actually. And on that, can you pull up the Small Business Resource page for me, the website? Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And so there, what we have done, we have included a chock full of resources, and you can find yourself here. So as we've outlined, we have the Start, Managing, and Growing. And there we have very specific information about where you might find yourself. On those pages, you're going to find tip sheets. You're going to find resources, and resources meaning organizations that offer business expertise. They offer training because we don't want to leave you out here hanging. We know that just because you come to a website and read something, you need some help. So we've also identified some very specific audience pages. Here you'll find the minority-owned business resources. And there we've identified resources for organizations that are supporting Black-owned businesses, Hispanic-owned businesses. And so we also have a page for veteran-owned businesses. And so there are organizations that focus squarely on those audiences. We have the newly launched women's owned business resource page for organizations that are supporting women. And we know that women are becoming the fastest number starters of businesses. So we want to be right there for them. We also have a little bit of a podcast where we're talking to very well established business owners who you might find in Target or Walmart, and they're sharing their story. And so I talked about the Meet the Founders. So if you scroll a little bit, you can see some of those resources that we offer to start you on your business journey, start managing and growing. You can read all that there. If you keep going, we have who is this for? It's for everybody. It's for everybody. And
So
there
I don't have to be a member
you do
to
not
access
have to be a
this.
member. And guess what? It's free. It's free to you and everyone else who is listening. We are here for you. With it, and in those pages, we have some very specific tip sheets on pricing, how to become business certified, how to market your business, how to digital marketing. We also have some courses in the Mind Edge that Susan talked about earlier on how to start a business online, because we know that we're now in this virtual space and you don't have to have a brick and mortar. You can start a business right online. We also have videos from our brand ambassador, Damon John, who talks about the 10 steps to getting started. So we have everything you need right here at your fingertips, Phil.
That's
And
great.
it's growing, and we're growing. So come back and we will have some new content for people for who might be at different stages along their business journey.
So you have a roadmap for me to follow?
I have a roadmap for you to follow.
That's great. So what's the most important thing I should know or think about if I'm wanting to start a new business or I'm on the road in the
Phil,
journey?
there's so many things you need to think about. You need to think about, what you want to do and what is that business. So when you start there, okay, you need to figure out who to talk to. The Small Business Development Center in probably most communities. Not only is there a Small Business Development Center, which is a resource partner of the Small Business Administration, there's a Women's Business Development Center that are squarely focused on helping women. There's the SCORE, where you can find a mentor. And I will also put a plug for the NASDAQ Entrepreneurship Center. And they have a whole mentor platform where you can find a mentor to talk to. And so I would really start there. Of course, start with the Small Biz Resource, smallbizrc.org. And there you will find all of the resources that I've mentioned. But yeah, so I would start with knowing what you want to do, then move towards talking to somebody who can help you through what that process is, how you want to identify your business, getting your business name, registering your business, getting a tax ID, so you can actually be a full-fledged business. So there are many, many steps, but key thing is knowing what you want to do and do your research, do your homework.
Okay. So I always wanted to be a radio disc jockey, but there isn't that much of that going on anymore.
Well,
have to do some more research on what my next
research.
career would be.
But Phil, the other thing too is a lot of people feel like they're at a certain stage of their life where it's too late. It's not too late. It's not too late to do what you want to do if you want to start that small business. And so we want to help people build their confidence that they can do it. And so I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying it could be worth it if it's something you've been desiring to do for a long time.
And I guess while you're figuring out what it is you want to do, you can become an AARP volunteer and work with a bunch of good folks who are looking to do good things for their fellow seniors.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
Absolutely. We are here for you.
Okay. Any last tips for us?
The last tip is make sure you go to the Small Business Resource Center for the 50 plus at smallbizrc.org. And there is chock full, and you will find what you need there to get started.
For free.
For free.
Great. Felicia, thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Okay, so now from the mountains to the sea. Irene, it's always good to see you. Erin, welcome to the mountain region. Thanks for coming all the way over here from
Thank you for having me.
Well, Erin, let's start with you. So tell us about the programs you have at Cape Fear Community College and how our audience can access them.
Yeah, thank you. So like many of the community colleges across the states, I think folks sometimes think we have programs that earn a degree and you come for a couple years and you're just out of high school, or maybe you're a young career changer. But what they don't know is that we also offer a lot of workforce development training that can help you with things like a career in a year, maybe even less, right? So a couple ways that we do that. We can do virtual, all online. We partner with Ed2Go, and we have lots of self-paced classes that folks can work through, ranging in topics. It could be computer science, or maybe business classes, photography, fitness. I mean, there's a ton of different topics where you can learn a little bit of a new skill so you can start dabbling in something else. As far as programs, we offer really short-term programs through our Economic and Workforce Development Department. Often these courses can be offered online, some are in person, and some are hybrid. So a combination of going to class and doing some online work with your instructor as well. So these careers could really run the gamut as well, or this training. You could do graphic design. There's drug and alcohol counseling. We have a software development program, and things that are really hands-on, like small engines and outboard motors. So the community colleges really provide a wide variety of short-term training for people that maybe it's time to make a change, or maybe we need to get back into the game and start looking for a new career, or we want to start our own business, as we've heard about. We also have resources for starting your own business. We have a small business center. We're just one small business center here at Cape Fear that's part of a statewide network that's really designed to support the development and the growth of small businesses. So we offer free seminars, free workshops, and free counseling services to new businesses and even current entrepreneurs too. So if you're someone who's already gotten your foot in the door in entrepreneurship, that's something we can help with too. So yeah, I think the best way to reach us is really by looking at our website and really doing a deep dive exploration of the things that you might not know that we already offer.
That's great stuff. So if I find my new career out in Wilmington, I want to be down near the water, not always in the mountains. Are there employers that we can link up with in the area?
Yes. So our department really prides ourselves on working alongside of business. So when we're looking at some of these programs and we're trying to figure out, well, what type of training should we offer? We have oftentimes partnered with business to determine what these courses should look like, which offers a career pathway for people as well.
Sounds terrific. And I can probably access it from here, can I not? Some of the free stuff online?
So if you're in the mountains, we do offer some courses online. The Ed2Go partnership I was talking about are all online, self-paced courses, but we do have some other classes that are virtual where you would actually meet with an instructor, like via Zoom, so you'd feel like you're in class as well.
Wow. So the folks in the center of the state, the folks in Winston or even in Raleigh can dig in and get some of your good work.
Absolutely.
Terrific. Well, thank you. Irene, you and I worked together on the Experienced Workforce Initiative. So talk to us about NC Works Career Center and what you've got going on there. How did it get started?
Oh my gosh, Phil, so much to tell you about that. We actually started working with experienced workers back in about 2013 when AARP and NC Works collaborated to offer some experienced worker job fairs. We found that experienced workers were having a little more challenge in getting back to meaningful employment. So We started there. We offered workshops to help prepare for the job fair. We selected employers who were experienced worker friendly, and they had great success. And so one thing sort of built on top of the other. We still offer the workshops. They're still offered in a hybrid format. So people can attend them from anywhere. We've had people from all across the state take our workshops. They're offered virtually, or the ones that are offered directly at NC Works are offered in person. But I really want to focus on something that developed out of that experience, which is the Experienced Workforce Initiative. Back about the time that we were doing all of that, Buncombe County, our local county, was putting together a pilot project as part of their county aging plan. And as a result of that, they approached NC Works. AARP was involved, the local AARP was involved as well. And we developed a community-based initiative called the Experienced Workforce Initiative. And we started just seeing how we could collaborate with other community partners and people in the community. So organizations, employers, and individuals were all invited to participate. And we developed a wonderful synergy, frankly. We started with I remember our first meeting had about 5 people in it. We're now up to over 25 people.
Yeah.
The last time I actually sat and counted, I think we're more than that. But what came out of that were virtual lunch and learn. Well, we started with a job fair and a symposium, and in a form of self-disclosure, Phil was actually our first keynote speaker. But we started with a symposium aimed to help encourage and advocate for experienced workers in the Asheville area, primarily focused with the HR people locally. But then we also had a job fair. And the job fair was for people who were interested, who were 50 plus, who were interested in some meaningful contribution they could give to the world, whether it be volunteer work, stipend-based entrepreneurship, part-time or full-time work. We tried to cover everything, and we had a great community response to that. And then 2020 happened, and we had to pivot quickly. And when we pivoted, I was really proud of our group because we pivoted instantly and developed lunch and learns. And for the last year and a half, we've been offering lunch and learns. They're virtual. They range in topics from retooling, the importance of keeping your skills up to date as a 50 plus worker, to preparing for a job fair. We have a job fair coming up March 30th, and our current goal is to assist people in a pre-virtual lunch and learn to help them prepare for that job fair so they can get the most out of it. Along with all of that's going on with EWI, we also developed a website thanks to a local member, Mark Zarnecki, and we keep everybody up to date. If you want to see, I did send in the link. I believe it's posted somewhere, but it's ewiwnc.com. Thank you. Where people can stay up to date with all of the things that are going on. It posts copies of, you can find a copy of a previous lunch and learn so you can watch it at your leisure. You can find out about current topics. You can find out about upcoming events. It's just a treasure trove of information for people. And our lunch and learns, by the way, have been successful because we market them locally, but AARP has also helped us by hosting them on their platform. And we've done combined efforts between the hosting on the platform and Facebook Live events. So that's what's going on with the Experienced Workforce Initiative. But on top of that, locally, through a collaborative effort between AARP Foundation, NC Works Career Center, Asheville, and AB Tech Community College, we offer a program called Back to Work 50 Plus. And the whole goal of that program is to help people find meaningful work, people who are 50 or over, through learning and developing, through coaching and practice, developing successful job search strategies using 7 job search strategies that AARP Foundation developed. So the idea is they start with an information workshop, and then they have the opportunity to get one-on-one career coaching as well as group coaching, and then support until they find employment. Currently, we are sending out a weekly invitation to all the graduates of the program, and that invitation goes out to about 65 people every week. We have a weekly drop-in session where they can bring challenges either in finding a job or success stories or things that are going on, or just checking in with each other, because it's a wonderfully supportive program for people. Long-term friendships are developed out of that. And finally, brand
Irene,
new,
tell us how people can find out about how to get into that Back to
they
Work
can
50 plus.
they
Do they
can
have to
con-
live in Buncombe, or they can?
at the moment, no, not necessarily. If they live within our local 4 counties, they can absolutely join. And there is opportunity to join us if they're outside of the region, on a case-by-case basis. Recently, we were one of the first locations in the country. We were one of 15 US locations when we started in 2018. But as of this past year, 2 new Back to Work 50 Plus programs started through in Greensboro. I can provide more information. If people would like to find out more, I'm happy to dig in and get them the information. They can reach me at my email address at Catherine. I don't know if you've got it, but it's Catherine.Canivet at ncommerce.com. And I just sent that to somebody so they can post it. Or they can call by calling 828-251-6200, and my extension is 262.
If I'm 49 and a half, can I get in?
With approval from AARP, yes. We actually had that happen one time. So with approval of AARP, but really it's primarily, they're pretty careful about that age bracket. We have one other program I have to tell you about because it's brand new. It's also a collaborative effort between AARP Foundation, AB Tech Community College, and NC Works Career Center. And it's called the Back to Work 50 Plus Skills Accelerator Program. And it's so brand new, Phil, that it's like literally this week. But people have an opportunity to upgrade and to get certification in one of 3 different programs. One is the Community Health Worker Program, which is an extremely popular program right now. Another is the Electronic Health Records Specialist Program, or the MSSC Certified Production Worker Program. Those are all programs offered at AB Tech, and they would have to, I believe, be able to qualify for an AB Tech program.
How do we get the word out about that? That sounds fantastic.
We're working on that as we speak. So I will forward information as soon as I can, but unfortunately, It's so new. I don't have that information yet, but people can reach out to me and I will get them the information. So, at the end of the day, our success has been due to the very wonderful collaborative spirit in the Asheville and Western North Carolina community between AARP, other membership organizations, or other organizations, AB Tech. We've been very fortunate. We have a lot going on out here for people 50 plus.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I know you're here in Asheville.
Yes, around the
So,
corner.
yeah. So there'll be a survey coming out, folks, for to see what you thought of our presentation today. Help us plan other events that will be helpful. If you have any questions, now would be a good time to stick them in the comments box. I haven't seen any yet, but if you have any, now's your chance. Otherwise, we're going to send you off on your job search or your skills building, your veterans quest, or getting ready to start your own business. Not seeing any. We're going to say thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. And have a wonderful afternoon and a great job search.